Cinemassacre Monster Madness!
Sleepaway Camp from 1983 may be just another low-budget slasher film, but the cult following it's gained over the decades is extraordinary. Strangely, it's had two separate strings of sequels. The first sequels were from the 80s as well, but decades later the original writer, director Robert Hiltzik, returned to make his own sequels, ignoring the rest. The plot is more or less what you'd expect. There's people at a campground in the summer who are being murdered one by one in all kinds of absurd ways. The movie doesn't come straight out as a comedy, but the death scenes are quite hysterical. Also, the way the characters behave are pretty outrageous. There's this creepy guy working in the kitchen who comes on to a young girl and flat out harasses her.
I got something you're gonna like real good.
What a sicko. The girl is Angela, who's the main focus. She's always being bothered. She doesn't do anything to anybody, she keeps to herself and hardly even speaks, but for some reason, everybody gives her a hard time. My favorite character is the guy in charge of the camp. He thinks nothing of the deaths and wants to downplay them to cover up what's happening because he doesn't want to scare away the campers or doesn't want bad publicity or whatever. He's like the mayor in Jaws. These characters all have their breaking points where they flip out. This is one of those whodunit kind of slasher films. Instead of an obvious villain, you're supposed to guess who's doing the killings.
What the hell are you doing here?
But when you're watching it, I think you'll find it obvious from the beginning, or at least after so many of the characters are eliminated, but you still sit there anyway, waiting for the big reveal at the end to confirm it. You think you know who it is, and maybe you do, but you end up getting a little more than you bargained for. I won't show it, but seriously, it's one of the most disturbing endings ever. It makes the whole film. I'll say no more. So what do I really think of this movie, aside from the ending? Is it any good? I think it depends how much you expect from it. If someone says, hey, you gotta check out this movie, it's amazing, then you might see it and be disappointed, but if you see it on your own terms, you may be delighted. The charm of these type of movies is discovering them. You sit around with your friends, you pop in the VHS tape, not knowing what it is, and then you get unexpected laughs and genuine amusement. It's like looking at a trash can and finding something valuable. Maybe there's nothing there, but hey, you never know. I'd recommend watching it casually with the least amount of hype possible. Don't even think about it, just let it play.